What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S, part of Den Media Group, presented by the MFTK Foundation. The MFTK Foundation is the go-to website for anything MFTK related. Right now, one of the big things that we're doing, obviously, shit, this microphone is not locking in. Hey, one of the things we're doing right now is preparing for our MFTK 7-on-7. But really also gifts for good grades. We're gonna do, I think this is my 6th year doing gifts for good grades. So the goal is to get 200 kids $30 in gifts. So you can give $30. We'll be doing splitting it, I think 100 and 100 in Tallahassee, 100 in Jacksonville, things of that nature. Got a lot to talk about. Really don't know what we're going to talk about, but I do know we'll talk about the showcase here in a second. That's $25. If you would like to sponsor a kid, we'll have our teams. We have our team selected. We sent out the emails last night about practice, and we're going to send out a text message blast as well to the people. But something I do want to just speak about. I just posted it on my social media so you can see the news article that's associated with it. But the school that we've been doing our book bag drives at, Long Branch Elementary School, they just had a big city meeting. They did a press conference, they did a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm gonna be honest with you, just talking about shit doesn't change anything. It never has, never will. But they the school is up for closure. The superintendent said his suggestion is to merge Long Branch Elementary School, which is the only school that's dead in the fucking community. So these kids walk there. There are things that you could do, that people could do to never have this happen again. But at a certain point, it has to become more important to you through actions than it does through words. And all that marching, all that other shit is not going to get shit done no more. Sorry, I got to be the person to tell you, but we got to be real. But there are things that are happening in that area that will help. Like the Phoenix Ave Community Development Project, they have funds earmarked for this shit. There are people there. You need to move into the, like, one of the worst things that happened was people moving out of the communities, like moving up, buy back the block, do shit like that. Like, actually, they need fresh blood in there. They need families. They need to make these communities. You gotta make these communities safe for the kids. You gotta make it appetizing, like appealing. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's very difficult to recruit people to want to move into a neighborhood when the only thing that you want to perpetuate is a fucking hood stereotype. It's not that, like, it's, yeah, bad shit happens everywhere. I've probably had more murders in this neighborhood that I've lived in the last 17 years than I've had in my whole neighborhood growing up, but you wouldn't know about it because of perception. But the reality of the situation is everything else is pretty good. Those murders were like, it was murder-suicides. Man caught his old lady banging somebody and then he couldn't take it. But the only way you're going to do it is to keep a community young, and the only way to do that is to have young people there and families. And the school is a really good school. It's a B school. It's the same grade as my son's school. The only difference is there's a lot of kids that live on this side of town. There aren't, and that shit kind of bummed me out. I ain't gonna lie to you, but like they vote December 1st. They vote on December 1st, and if you could do me a favor, actually, I don't need your money. I don't need you to even click like on this. And if you're on Twitter, if you're on any of those other shits, I really need you guys to do me a favor. Just tweet it, retweet my pin tweet, or share my Facebook post with as many people as you can. Like, tell people that lie, because I mean, it doesn't affect you. But it will affect you one day. And if you know how to stop these things from happening, the shit don't happen, man. I can find another place to do my book bag drive. I ain't really worried about that shit. But like, it's a really fucking good school, man. It's a like shit's bummy. It bums you out, man. Because in the area that I live in, there's Deer Creek Elementary School, right? So that's the gated community. There's an elementary school inside of the fucking gated community. That when you turn left outside of the gated community, you go to where my son's elementary school is. And then there's another elementary school not too far from that. It's not one of the most heavily populated areas. It's just an affluent area. But I'm telling you, like you everybody got all of this shit where they like, man, I'm pro this and pro that, and here in Jacksonville, you say the man this, the man that. Well, the man didn't. The man, yes, they are doing this, but you damn sure not giving them reason not to do it. And when you know whether you want to play the game or not, whether you want to participate. Let me rephrase that. Whether you want to participate, whether you want to play the game or not, you're a participant in this shit. And there's ways to go about things, man. Yeah, that shit just got me a little flustered, man. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, man. I really, really hold on. Really, really like I said, I'm bummed out about that. But anyways, though, yeah, I'm gonna try something that y'all always say works, but I know it doesn't just work in a way because there is no magic fairy that's just gonna come down and nobody's coming to save you. You got to save yourself. But I do know this: nothing beats a failure but a try, and it's still one of my favorite parts of the show. So I'm gonna start our show off with the same way we start every show off with a good old-fashioned word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Nobody wanna thank you, God. Thank you, God. Go.
All right, Jaden, what we talking about today?
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a morning edition of Big Games B.S. here on Wednesday, November 19th. And if this is your first time at the show, welcome. If you're wondering why it's called Big Games B.S., it's because we bring the good, the bad, and the BS of the sports world, especially football, to your screens, eyes, and ears. We're going to start off with our MFTK segment for today. Going to talk about the high school showcase and the recent FHSAA coaching debacle and process with the bill regarding coaching pay in Florida. Then we're going to get into some NCAA talk, starting with FSU football. We also have basketball to talk about as well with FSU before getting into more football talk in the overall college football realm with the college football playoff rankings and the Heisman Trophy odds that are updated courtesy of BetMGM. And then we have some ACC teams to discuss before getting into some head coaches. Finally, we have our NFL segment, and then we're going to start off with our NIL topic, Knowles in the league, then branch out to the Jaguars, then talk about Monday Night Football and the topic of our NFL segment is going to be quarterbacks. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks we're discussing, but we got some wide receivers in the mix as well. Going to take a look at the division race, playoff pictures, stat leaders, and some more news as well. Before getting into our Big Games BS segment for today, where we bring the scope of the conversation outside of the typical football world, we'd like to start off this segment with our BS or bussin' topic, a food review topic that James gives a food item, a BS or bussin' review. Then we're going to finish off our show with the OG Wildland segment for today. First things first, going to share the MFTK showcase with you guys, and James will tell you more about it.
Oh yeah, MFTK showcase coming up here in Jacksonville, Florida, trying to bring the best from around the Southeast to Jacksonville, which I believe is one of the meccas of sport. Per capita, you cannot tell me anything different. The stats back what I want to say. One of the biggest problems that I've realized here is that the people here know that they're good, will brag to you that they're good, but feel the need to go everywhere else. Well, we're going to change that perspective. You can still go wherever you want to go, but I want to make sure that people know that you can be seen here. We will have coverage from all the major writers. I was talking to some of those guys the other day, um, and we'll have some of the best talent showing up to the showcase. People from Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, North Carolina, Atlanta, a lot of people that are coming from um all of that from all over the place to be able to come here. Again, the city is an amazing city. Um I only know how amazing the city is because I'm not from here. If I could live anywhere in the nation and do exactly what I do and probably make more money, but I actually absolutely like this city. And I believe that this city needs to be exalted. And the biggest problem is that everybody wants to talk about being the best in the city, but don't even think that the city is the best. And that is a shame, but we're going to change that narrative. What we're going to do is what we do, and either you're going to rock with it or you're not going to rock with it. But we're not going to beg. We're just going to show. We can show you an ass way better than we can tell you about one. Yep.
We have some major news coming from the state of Florida, especially in regards to people like James, and that is Florida high school coaches. So let's share this with you all and get this conversation started. So, courtesy of at PayFL Coaches, aka the Florida Coaches Coalition, they made this post. The bill has dropped in all caps. So, this is historic for every coach in Florida. For the first time, a bill finally gives school districts full authority to pay coaches what they deserve. No more outdated rules, no more limits, and very loud for the people in the back. Unions will no longer control athletic stipends. The power goes directly back to the districts and the communities that know their coaches best. So, this bill opens the door for real wages, real recognition, and real hope for the men and women who build our student athletes every single day. This is the future at PayFL Coaches has fought for. This is the future coaches deserves. Florida just stepped into a new era. So before James gives his spiel, just wanted to clarify what this bill is. So, this bill aims to increase inclusivity, transparency, and flexibility for extracurricular participation and physical education among the coaches and as well the students. But even though this opens the door for coaches to get more money, this does not guarantee that the districts have to pay them more money. This just gives them more flexibility to pay them more money if that district sees fit. So, James, I know this has been a topic in your coaches group chats. I can only imagine. So, from your perspective, what does this bill do? What does this bill create for the new sports environment in regards to Florida high school coaching?
I mean, it sounds good. It does give the power back to the districts. Um, you'll get coaches deserve to make more money. Like, did you see? I don't want to post the video, but did you see the video I sent Jaden to the group chat? Miss
No, I
MOrnin?
didn't. I did not.
Well,
Let me check.
there's the middle. That was middle school. It wasn't high school. Coaches go through a lot of shit. Like, your kid, your baby's the best player all time, and the only thing holding your kid back from going to the NFL was your high school coach that gets paid $1,419, not 440 anymore, $1,419 annually to coach your kid. We needed to hold your son back. We didn't want to put the team in the best decision. Parents make it very hard to focus on the team because they only worry about the individual, and they have that luxury. And so you're really not in it for the money, but you do deserve to get paid because you put up with a lot of bullshit. And you can be fired from a job that doesn't have a log jam of people really just wanting to do it like that. Um they but then can the districts afford to pay this shit? Jacksonville is in a deficit. They're firing teachers. They're closing schools. You think the school board really can? You think they can dictate they can afford to pay us more? I'm a realist when it comes to all of this. I like it. I want it to be that way, but the reality of the situation is my colleagues, Toby, Coach Gamble, Coach Reed, Mikey, trying to think who else is over there. Coach Rooney. Half of our staff are teachers. Just pay them more to teach. But like private schools can already do this. But like that they've been. You think the private school Bowles is building an indoor practice facility. So is University Christian. If they want to pay coaches more, they'll pay. It's going to cause them to have to do more. But like when my friend was about to take the job at St. Thomas Aquinas, they were already going to pay me more. Bowles already, I get paid more to do less at Bowles with lacrosse than I get paid to do football, and I get a fall, spring, and winter stipend. So I get 3. So like, it sounds good, but let's look at the fiscals of the counties to see who can really pay it. Because it might not, I got news for you. It might not change things. But you know what? Hold on. As this show always does, we can get you somebody on the phone who knows a lot more about this that I could just ask questions to. They said Psalm 90 was on that bill. You heard me, Jada?
Can you repeat that? Psalm 90?
CSIME 90. Is that who they added on that bill as the people who passed it?
Yes, Corey Simon.
Yeah. Let me text Corey. I would put Corey on blast, but I just don't want to do that. Coaches and because I think it's a big difference of if it forces or it allows. If it forces coaches to get paid, then that's great. If it allows coaches to get paid, you're probably not gonna you're probably not gonna see the results as fast as you want to. But like, I'm all for it. So, but yeah. So let's yeah. I mean, if Corey hits me back on the text, then I'll give him more insight on that. So let's just get a little table on that right there. And we will go right back to that.
All right, let's continue on with some sports talk. And we'd like to kick off the college segment with the home team that is FSU, the Seminoles. So if you guys did not know, yes, 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 we do play NC State on November 21st. That is this upcoming Friday at 8 p.m. on ESPN. But this isn't in Tallahassee. This is at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina. A difficult game to play for any football team. NC State does have a great crowd at home. So hopefully the Seminoles can overcome the crowd, can overcome the team, and can get a W in their game against NC State, an ACC rival, I might add. And this is our last ACC matchup of the regular season this season. So with the game announcement, let's take a look at the depth chart. I was looking at the depth charts from last week compared to this week. I saw no major difference except in that cornerback position. So last week it looks like Shamar Arnaud, number 15, didn't have that starting spot, but he's getting that starting nod this week at game 11 at NC State. But for the most part, everything else is pretty much similar in regards to the depth chart right here. And also you have Javon Boggs getting listed on the chart as well. So just wanted to share this with everybody for the game and to look out for your favorite player on the Seminole squad. But James, we have a commitment announcement to announce as well, coming from from a JUCO player, an elite JUCO player. He is a edge rusher named Jalen Anderson, and he committed to FSU. He's a 6'3", 240-pound edge, and he chose the Seminoles over multiple P4 programs. He's ranked as the number 6 JUCO recruit in 2026. So Hayes Fawcett recently posted this on Monday at 5:28 p.m. shortly after the depth chart and was posted on FSU football. So got this edge rusher to go along with our squad. But going back to the Seminoles, James, in respect to this Friday's game, man, what advice can you give the FSU squad going into NC State? Because I've heard from your own mouth that it's a very difficult game to play at NC State. So what's some advice you got for the guys, man?
Remove the emotion, do your fucking job, cancel out the noise, and just realize if you just did what you were supposed to do, we would be talking about you in the ACC championship and potentially in the college football playoff. But you're in the position that you're in. I mean, you can be like the fan base, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's very, very legitimate gripes about it. Did I kick myself off of being a member of Den Media Group? Oh no. Oh, there's a like button. There's legitimate gripes about positioning, planning, but like assignments missing wide open receivers, missing tackles, missing all of this shit. That's shit that players can fucking control. If you go out there and you play like you've been, like if you play like you played the second half of the Virginia Tech game, or if you play like you played the entirety of the Wake Forest game, there's not an ACC team that can beat you. If you play like you played against Alabama, there's not a team that can beat you. So my only advice to you is to do your fucking job. I could blame coaches. I could say all of this other different things. I could say I don't. That's why you don't see me getting into coaching hoopla. If you ask me my opinion, who I wanted went to Virginia Tech, who I thought they should get if they fire Mike. But I won't get on here and say Mike needs to be gone. But I will say is if something isn't changed, yeah, you do need to change the trajectory. But what you need to do is finish the season strong, not for the coaches, for your own self. Y'all playing like y'all want to keep your mama in apartments, not take her out of it. But if you win the next 2 games, you go to a reasonable bowl. But I'm also angry because if anybody who watches this channel, nobody gets better Gator Bowl passes and tickets than Big Game James. Y'all would have been winning some of the most fire tickets that you could get. if we would have went to the Gator Bowl, but we're not even going to be in the premium pool to be able to go to the Gator Bowl. And it's all because of a lack of focus and discipline that you know you must have in order to be able to get to the NFL. I can talk about coverages. I can talk about being in bad positions. But I look at this talent. The talent is there. The execution is not. Now, we could go round and round about who we want to blame for that shit, but then at the end of the day gonna end. And you are 5-4. Is it 5-4? Excuse me, 5-5. If you win this Friday, you get you get to go to a bowl game. You get to extend your season. You get to get better. You get some gifts. You get a little bit of extra cash. Don't know where, and if you win two, you upgrade the place that you can go. And depending on, as long as it's not December 27th, the odds of James Coleman being there are very, very high. I'm probably going to go check out the game. So that's my advice to them. And stop worrying about the damn NIL. Some of you guys need to take a little bit less so they can invest in getting some other guys to come in so that you can get a lot of bit more in the future. But I know this. People are stupid and don't understand business, investment, and how to move forward. That is the most frustrating thing that I've dealt with the last couple of weeks. Everybody wants the right now. They want to know what feels good to them, and they want their perspective heard without understanding that there's always another side of perspective. And if everybody only looks from their perspective, nothing gets changed except for the people who know the golden rule. I know this. People do not know what the golden rule was, and you were not really taught the golden rule when you were coming up in school, and you have not learned. You're damn sure, some of y'all damn sure wasn't in the streets like that or outside, and some of y'all really don't know what it's like in corporate America. Does anybody know what the golden rule is? In the chat, just tell me that, whether it's Twitter, anywhere else. Do you know what the actual golden rule is? Because I'm going to tell you what the golden rule is. The golden rule is this. Simply put, he who has the gold makes the rules. And if you want that gold, you got to follow the rules, and the rules are winning. If you win, everything in your life changes. If you lose, it doesn't. But sometimes you got to scale back and take less, experience the pain tolerance so that you can go fulfill what it is that you were truly called to fulfill. Too many people I've been around way too many people that don't understand that and will miss everything. It was cut off their nose to spite their face. It's wild.
I'm going to finish off this FSU segment with some basketball talk. Haven't touched on this in a minute, but there was a special moment that happened during the game. But first off, let's talk about the game itself. FSU got the dub over UT Martin 87-73. But there was something special that happened during halftime of this game. So during halftime, Coach Leonard Hamilton, the former legendary FSU head basketball coach, was honored at halftime. You can see the banner being put up right there saying Leonard Hamilton, 438 career wins at FSU, ranging from 2003 to 2025. So shout out to Coach Hamilton on getting honored at halftime for his great 23-year head coaching stint at FSU. Just wanted to highlight Coach Hamilton and the FSU program for doing a great thing for the coach. Now we got FSU out of the way. We're going to bring the conversation to the overall scope of the college football playoff rankings and the college football playoff projected bracket from these rankings. We talked about the AP polls on Monday, so now we are going to talk about the college football playoff rankings. So I'm going to share this with you guys right here. Let's get into it. So Ohio State is number 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Georgia 4, Texas Tech 5. Then you have Ole Miss, Oregon, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Bama, BYU, Utah, Miami, Vandy, USC, Georgia Tech, Texas, Michigan, Virginia, Tennessee, Illinois, Missouri, Houston, Tulane, and lastly, Kenny Dillingham's ASU Sun Devils come in at that 25th spot for you right there. So if these were the final rankings, this would be the college football playoff projected bracket, the 12-team projected bracket for you guys. This is what it would look like. So the top 4 teams would have the first round bye instead of the conference champions. That was the rule last year. So now it's the top 4 teams in general. That's why you see Georgia and Texas A&M in that mix. They're both in the SEC, but they're both the top teams. So that's kind of how it works. Then you have Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas A&M. Then you would have Oklahoma going up against Notre Dame, Oregon against Bama, Ole Miss against Miami. And then lastly, you have Texas Tech going up against Tulane. A lot of people saying they would rather have James Madison on this list instead of Tulane with all the success James Madison has going on in their program as well.
Tulane's pretty fucking good if you've been paying attention to Tulane the last couple of years. And what's odd about that is Tulane lost their quarterback to Duke. And I believe did Duke's quarterback go to Tulane? I forgot how it worked, but Tulane is consistently doing very well, but they've got to finish it out. And it's really whoever the highest ranked G5 school is going to get what they need to get. This list, though, is inaccurate and it's crazy because Miami can't be considered. Well, they can be, but they have to win out. And even when they went out, there's going to be a lot of arguments because where they're ranked right now, they just have them as the highest ranked ACC team. But they can't play in the ACC championship game, regardless of what happens. Virginia basically has made sure that they're in, and Louisville and Georgia Tech will probably have better ACC records than them going forward. So Miami won't get in, and Notre Dame will take our spot because Notre Dame counts as an ACC slot as well. So that's kind of funny, but I talked about it we talked about it on the Taxslayer Gator Bowl Drive the Selection Show presented by Toyota, which will be on the newest episode will be on sometime tomorrow. And I also put it on my Facebook post, and it showed that a lot of people don't understand, and I don't have the time to write it down with crayons for them to get it. But the SEC might not fulfill their obligations for bowl games because they have 6 guys that are out of contention as it currently stands. Kentucky, Mississippi, now they also can have a lot, but it'll have to be Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Auburn all have shots left to be able. They're not all the way out yet. The only way Auburn will get in is if they beat Alabama. If Auburn beats Alabama, now Alabama's a 3-loss team. They will not be in the college football playoff with 3 losses. Kentucky has to beat Vanderbilt and Louisville. And Mississippi State has to beat Ole Miss in order to be eligible. I wonder if that's a parlay. Can you think we can make that parlay? Make a parlay? Or can you that's the other games are too far out in advance? I'm asking Jay. Do you think so? I don't know. I'm about to try to see.
I'm not too sure, but if I had to guess, I would think they're too far out in advance. Let me see. You have conference futures, and then you have to reach the playoffs on Hard Rock.
Well, okay. Let's say we go NCAA football. Yeah, that's right. You can't. They're not gonna let me pick games from next week now. Kind of stinks. Well, all I know is this: you can bank on craziness happening.
Yes, this 12-team format will have a lot of craziness happening in the college football playoffs, but real college football fans love to see it, love to see this level of parity in the game, and a lot of great matchups will ensue from these playoffs. So just want to keep you guys updated with the college football playoff rankings, even though there is only 2 more weeks left in college football. So we're going to keep you guys updated in these 2 weeks of the regular season. And we're going to keep you guys updated on the Heisman odds after week 12. This is courtesy of BetMGM. And it's no surprise that Indiana's QB, Fernando Mendoza, is the favorite to win the Heisman. His team is the number 2 ranked squad in the nation, and he's spearheading that program. Head coach Kurt Cignetti's quarterback is at the top of this list. Then you have Julian Sayin, the Ohio State quarterback, coming in at second place with plus 225. Then you have Marcel Reed, the Texas A&M quarterback, plus 500. Diego Pavia, Gunnar Stockton, Haynes King, Jeremiah Love is the highest non-QB on this list, but you also have Jeremiah Smith shortly behind him, Jacob Rodriguez, the Texas Tech linebacker that many have high praises for, and Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson is still on this list. But looks like Fernando is taking this thing to the house. He is the clear favorite to win this award. So we're going to keep you guys updated throughout these next couple weeks on the Heisman odds for this year. But it looks like a QB is going to win that award. No surprise there as well. So now we're going to talk about some head coaches. I know James recently mentioned James Franklin, and now he is officially the new Virginia Tech coach. But before we get to James, let's talk about Lane. That is Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss's coach. So On3 reported that Ole Miss is looking for clarity this week about Lane Kiffin's future with the Rebels. Members of Kiffin's family visited Gainesville Sunday and Baton Rouge on Monday. And so Brett McMurphy of On3 reported that if Lane Kiffin doesn't meet the deadline, Ole Miss would have to decide if it would allow him to coach in the playoffs. If there is no resolution, it will be an agonizing decision for Kiffin and the Rebels. Kiffin and Ole Miss recently beat Florida. I think it was 34-24, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it was 24-34 this past Saturday. So, James, I know with Lane Kiffin's win against Florida and with this news right here, where do you see Lane Kiffin moving towards in his head coaching decision? Staying at Ole Miss, even though they do have a lot of success this season, or going to Florida, showing love to Steve Spurrier and the visor?
I think Florida has some things that they're going to try to work out and try to impede on him because they just have some new coaches they hired. So they want to like ride those out. So they're going to want him to keep some staff. And I know that's always a big major hiccup when it comes to hiring coaches. They want to bring their own people in. But I also think whatever number Florida puts out there, Lane Kiffin will match. I mean, Ole Miss will match. So I don't really know. If I had to make a guess, I think he'd go to LSU before he went to Florida. LSU has proven in the last in the last quarter of a century, right? LSU has proven that they can win, that they're committed to win with 3 different types of coaches. You had Les Miles, you have Coach O, and you've had Nick Saban all during that period of time. 3 different styles, 3 different variants. But all the time they have the money and the money committed to the resources. And you have to ask yourself, do you like the quarterback situation? I don't know if he's enamored with DJ Lagway as he was before. But like, you also at Ole Miss, you are the premier recruit. You have to be able to recruit your backyard. At Ole Miss, his competition is Mississippi State. That's not competition to him. At LSU, ironically, is one in the Louisiana and Ohio are the places where the state school is the flagship school. Ironically, normally it's like University of Florida is the flagship school of the Florida, like Cal in California. Even though most people actually, I'm wait a minute, what's that's a lot because USC is the premier program in Southern in California on the West Coast. So it's just not normally it's, but Louisiana was the University of Louisiana is not the school that everybody wants to go to. Everybody wants to go to LSU. So you don't have to, you can get whatever you want to get in your backyard. You're winning those battles. And more often than not, you're going to have one or two guys that everybody's going to want from your state, regardless of where you're at, outside of Alaska. And I remember meeting a guy who actually was the number one running back in Alaska when I was coming up. I didn't even know they played football in Alaska. But Jaden also we basically stole a whole thing where they talked about how they just built a brand new stadium somewhere out there in Alaska. But you go to Florida, you know what you got to compete with? You got to compete with Miami, Florida State, and now South Florida and UCF have made themselves major players. And FIU and FAU are going to get the guys who used to go to these schools to walk on, or the guys that you could build up over time. There's so much on top of everybody else coming into the state to try to poach your best guys. There is so much competition here that has never been there.
Excited to see the coaching situation pan out for Lane Kiffin as the season progresses. But there's a lot of questions Lane must ask himself and what Lane must demand from these other schools he's looking out for as well. But here at Den Media Group, we're going to keep you guys updated on the whole process. And speaking of keeping you guys updated, we have been keeping you guys in tune with the James Franklin news, and it is officially official, y'all. So Virginia Tech and James Franklin did finalize the agreement for him to become the school's next football coach. He will be joining the ACC, competing with the likes of teams such as Florida State and Miami in terms of conference play. And James, it seems like people have high hopes for James Franklin at Virginia Tech, especially on the recruiting tip. He's a great recruiter. He's recruited some dogs to play for his team and has a lot of guys drafted in the NFL. So, since it is officially official, James, what can your same namesake do for the Virginia Tech football program?
Get them to 10 wins. Everybody, I don't everybody has such a strong opinion, right? Can we pull up, forget pulling up, was it Keegan Michael Key's picture? Can we pull up James Franklin's record? Because everybody talks about he's never won the big game. He can't do this. What we know he can do is recruit, which Virginia Tech typically does. He can recruit the guys that are off the grid and develop the fuck out of them. He can also take guys who are and just blow that up for me. He can also take guys that are big time and develop them. He's going to put you in the NFL. Blacksburg is focused solely on Virginia Tech. Another state where the other school is the other school. So can you it's still, even with glasses, just for whatever reason, it's blurry on my end. All right, that's good. So when did he get there? It was probably let's go 2015. I know he's been there for because he's at Vanderbilt, for Christ's sakes, before he went to Penn State, and he made Vanderbilt a winner. 11-3. You know what 11-3 gets you? Well, obviously it gets you a Rose Bowl berth, but 11-3 gets you into the college football playoff. 11 wins. the 2017, 11 wins get you into the college football playoff. 9 wins get you into the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. That's a down year for you. 2019, 11 wins get you into the college football playoff. The world shut down in 2020. You got to get rebooted and get restarted. So you just go to a regular ass bowl in 2021. 2022, 11 wins get you into a college football playoff. 10 wins get you into a college football playoff. 2024 gets you into one fucking game away from being in the national championship game. What is everybody screaming about and what is everybody wanting? The opportunity to play for a national championship. What you did, again, Mike wasn't fired, so you can't apply for a job that's not open yet. You're saying you don't want a guy, but you want to fire a guy because he doesn't put you in position to win a national championship. That's the only way to guarantee that you have a shot, is to be in position to win a national championship. Chris, you can't hate. How you gonna hate outside the club when you can't get in? And so James Franklin goes to Virginia Tech in the ACC, which may lose Florida State and all those guys to the Big Ten. Who knows now? But he's in a situation where we can all admit they're going to take 2 teams annually, and now you have a shot, as an easier shot to get there. You got Virginia that you're going to play. Virginia hasn't consistently been good ever, like ever. So you know you got one ACC win, or one that you should win. You know you're gonna always see Miami, and you know how Miami loses every year. It's not, they don't lose because of talent. They lose because they get out coached. Mario can't coach. Can we come to that conclusion now? Well, are Miami fans in a place right now where you can admit the only thing holding us back is a coach? Every other coach that left us, Mark Richt was a damn good coach. Manny Diaz is fucking making Duke hot. Can we admit that? Virginia Tech is not the same as Temple in Miami. Temple, you can walk. Polo Kid put that. I get what you're saying. You can walk. Downtown Philly, you can walk past Temple. Like, that's how big Temple University is. Virginia Polytechnical Institute is not like that. They got a little bit more bread. I'm not going to disrespect them like that. And we won't hire. Like, he made a decision to sit in a place where he knows he can make bread. And it was a smart move. And he knows he can win. He can build it up. And they've never won a natty. They don't have, like, the guys they've had before, 7-5, 7-5. Like, they've fired everybody since Beamer's left. So he's just like, I'm going to come over here and be the second coming of Beamer. But that's my thoughts on that.
Looks like James Franklin recently touched down in Virginia Tech. Saw a video on the timeline of him and his wife landing on the PJ to get greeted by fans and from some of the higher ups of the organization. But yeah, James, it looks like out of James Franklin's 12 years at Penn State, 6 of them were double-digit win seasons. So you can't say he's not a winner in some regards, because his career record at Penn State is 104-45. That's a .698 win percentage for the new Virginia Tech coach. So we will be happy. We will be excited to see how this pans out for Virginia Tech. Not necessarily happy since it's in the ACC, but he did get another opportunity to get a coaching stint. So we will see how this impacts the ACC for sure. And we love to keep you guys intact with that. But James, speaking of ACC, there's been some news regarding another international game at stake. So it looks like NC State and Virginia are set to play a game in Brazil in 2026. It will count as an ACC contest, with the two teams playing the first ever game in Brazil and the first international game for both teams. NFL has been going to Brazil recently in the recent number of years, and it looks like college is going to make that transition to go to Brazil to play some games. So just wanted to share this with you all, and hopefully the college dudes do not wild out too much in Brazil, because there's many plentiful opportunities to do such in Brazil. So stay safe out there, my guys, and man, great news for the ACC getting some more international exposure out there as well. James, it looks like you got some on your mind, something to say about the potential BBLs the NC State Virginia players may be seeing, man.
They say every black man needs to go to Brazil just to know what his worth is. So I think that what could go wrong? Like Ireland, okay. The only shit I am curious though, because one Lucky Charm lady that we found, like the girl with her complexion was, how is she so dark? Where it's so cold and I just don't believe the sun shines there. But her complexion was so amazing. But those are few and far in between. She's probably highly coveted. There ain't but so many black girls up there. And she's exotic. You go to Brazil, man, everybody's there. And like you're gonna but you might get robbed. It's a little rough down there. But I think it's good for them. It's a great cultural experience though. Just make sure you give those guys protection.
Now we're at the NFL section for today's show, and let's start off this section with the NILs. That is the Knowles in the league. These are the Seminoles who are making a way in the NFL, putting up crazy numbers and putting their team on their back. So let's get started going from left to right, starting from the top. Josh Sweat of the Arizona Cardinals had 1 sack and 2 QB hurries versus the 49ers. Brian Burns, who's currently in second place for the number of sacks this year. He's currently number 2 on the sacks leader list, only behind Myles Garrett. No surprise there. Brian Burns had 5 tackles, 3 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 4 QB hurries, and 1 pass breakup versus Green Bay. Tits for Fits, Ryan Fitzgerald went 3 for 3 on field goal attempts, scored 12 points, and had a walk-off 28-yard game-winning field goal against the NFC South division rival, the Atlanta Falcons. Jameis Winston had 201 passing yards, 10 rushing yards, and 1 rushing touchdown against Green Bay. And Renardo Green of the 49ers had 6 total tackles, 4 of them being solo versus Arizona. Finally, you have Eddie Goldman of the Washington Commanders, 5 total tackles, 3 solo, 2 TFL versus Miami. Jalen Ramsey versus Cincinnati before he got ejected, 4 total tackles, 2 solo tackles, 1 pass breakup. Jermaine Johnson of the Jets, 2 total tackles, 1 sack, 2 QB hurries. Jared Verse, 3 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 QB hurry, 1 pass breakup versus the Seahawks. Braden Fisk, 3 total tackles, 1 solo. And lastly, Derwin James versus the Jags. Hate to see him pop off on the Jags, but love to see him pop off anywhere else. 5 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 pass breakup for your Week 11 NILs, aka Knowles in the League, aka NFL Knowles. Just wanted to give you guys an update for all of my Seminoles supporters out there. And we like to start from one home team to another. So let's get into some Jaguars news, James. So the Jaguars signed veteran safety Juan Thornhill, who was recently released by Pittsburgh. So just wanted to read you his stats before being released by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He played in 9 games for the Steelers this year. He accumulated 38 total tackles. 23 of them were solo and 15 of them were assisted tackles. He also had 1 pass defended as well, and he also had 1 stuff as well. In his stuff yards, he had 1 stuff yard as well. So the Jacksonville Jaguars did pick up this veteran safety. to join that safety room. We're a little young in that safety room, so hopefully he can add some experience to the room. He is a two-time Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs as well, but he's also been a player and been a member of the Browns organization, so he's seen the best of the best and he's seen the worst of the worst. James, what are your thoughts on the Jaguars signing veteran safety Juan Thornhill, who was recently released by the Steelers?
We need help there. We played very well against the Chargers, but um, you needed veteran safety help. Personally, I would like to see Chauncey Gardner Johnson, but you know, good. Get you some vet help, a guy who could probably come and plug and play, and at least get you band-aided up to where you could draft it or truly attack it in free agency.
Hope to see his veteran presence shine for that Jaguars safety core. And James, there's been a lot of discussion this year in regards to the offensive woes of the Jaguars. You got the Trevor Lawrence dilemma, you have the drops dilemma, but many people have not been hating on Liam Cohen because it looks like him and the squad have gotten things rolling, James. And I wanted to share this post by John Shipley to put things into perspective. So this post shows how quickly it has taken each Jaguars head coach to get to 6 wins. Tom Coughlin, 17 games. Jack Del Rio, 17 games. Mike Mularkey, never did it. Gus Bradley, 28 games. Doug Marrone, 10 games if you count the interim game in 2016, 9 games if not. Urban Meyer, never did so. Doug Peterson, 14 games. And lastly, you have Liam Cohen, who took 10 games to get the Jaguars to 6 wins. So, James, my question for you is what are some of the pros and cons of the new Liam Cohen regime as we are progressing through the back half of this NFL season? His first stint as an NFL head coach, I might add.
I mean, Liam's done good. I mean, we've had games that we should have won. They've only been gotten their ass whooped once. There's only one game they just absolutely had no business being in, and that's the Rams game. Like Rams took our cookies. Should have beat the Seahawks, one of the best teams. I'm trying to think who are
The
damn sure
Bengals.
dropped one against the Bengals. That was fucking stupid. Um, the Texans game that we just lost makes absolutely no sense. So that's really only 4 games that I'm thinking of. Who I'm missing? And who else did we lose to? Without me getting into it, but like, just say forget that. Like, you could easily be 9-1. You could
We
easily
only
be
oh,
8-2. You said what, Jaden?
I'm sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, but you were right. We only lost 4 games this season to the Bengals, to the Seahawks, Rams, 2 consecutive losses, and then that horrible loss to the Texans. So all in all, we should be, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, but we should only have one loss under our belt.
I mean, and the Seahawks were just out physical us, but the Texas game was just a debacle and a meltdown. The Seahawks game, if I remember correctly, the Raiders game, which we almost lost, the Texans game, and the Bengals, because we were 45 seconds away from being undefeated. I remember being able to say that. Yeah, well, yeah. Last week they caught it. We brought in guys who were just like they're hell bent on catching it. Myers catches a lot of body passes. That concerns me. And again, it just comes down to, is it like, why is he catching it with his body all of a sudden? Why doesn't he feel comfortable catching it with his hands? I don't know. Like, just but it all comes down to had to save Trevor from Trevor. And I think once Liam is giving enough rope for everybody to see, I tried to let him do it. Now I need to not let him take over games. And in year 5, but I'm not even getting into, he is what we have. And they're using it to the best of their ability and to develop things. So I'm impressed by him. And that's all I got to say about that.
No slander for the first year head coach as of late for the Jaguars campaign this season, currently second in the AFC South rankings behind the Indianapolis Colts. So we're going to keep you guys updated with more Jags information as things occur throughout the season. And the Jaguars are facing off against the Arizona Cardinals. Hopefully, we can get a W. This is going to be an away game for the Jags, and it's going to be this Sunday at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're on the West Coast, that is the 1 o'clock game for you guys. So let's hope the Jaguars get the W against the Cardinals. And then their games after that is going to be the Titans, Colts, Jets, Broncos, Colts, and Titans. So you got 4 AFC South divisional games left for the Jaguars, playing the Titans and Colts, and then they're going to play the Colts and Titans to finish out the season again as well. But I'm scared for that Denver Broncos game on December 21st because, man, their defense is one of the best, if not the best. But let's get into some Monday Night Football talk. So the Cowboys got a dub for their fallen teammate Marshawn Nealon, 33-16 against the Raiders. The Raiders is definitely a team where you can beat up on. They have a 2-8 record and they have a 1-4 record at home. So let's break down the 33-16 point victory for America's team. Going to share the box score with you all, and let's break this down before we get into some posts courtesy of Next Gen Stats. So Dak Prescott, 25 of 33, 268 yards, average of 8.1 yards per completion, threw for 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and he only got sacked 1 time. He had a QBR of 86.7 and a quarterback rating of 138.6. Dak always looks like a top 5 quarterback during the regular season, but when the playoffs come around, you already know what happens. Javonte Williams, 22 carries, 93 yards, average of 4.2 yards per rush. And then the stars of the team were the wide receivers. George Pickens had 9 receptions for 144 yards and a touchdown, averaging 16 yards per reception. CeeDee Lamb had 5 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown, averaging 13.2 yards per reception. Jake Ferguson had a touchdown as well. And then Ryan Flournoy had a receiving touchdown as well. Dak Prescott lost a fumble in this game, but let's take a look at the offensive side for the Raiders because it was not pretty. Geno Smith, 27 of 42, 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he got sacked 4 times, losing 29 yards, having a QBR of 19.9. Geno Smith had 4 carries for 14 yards, average of 3.5 yards per carry. Ashton Genty only had 6 carries for 7 yards in this game. Las Vegas only had 12 carries in this entire game. In the post-game interviews, the reporters asked Ashton Genty about his lack of carries in this game, and he said, hey, he can only do what the play callers call for him. And if you did not know who the Las Vegas Raiders OC is, it is Chip Kelly, just to put a face to a title. But yes, they only had 12 carries in the game. Brock Bowers did his thing, though, 7 receptions, 72 yards. But Trey Tucker was the lone receiving score in this matchup. 4 receptions for 47 yards. Let's take a look at the team stats as well. Dallas had 24 first downs compared to the Las Vegas Raiders only having 17. And then moving on, the Cowboys went 4 for 10 on 3rd down, while the Raiders went 3 of 12. Raiders went 2 of 3 on 4th down, while the Cowboys had a 33% 4th down efficiency. So in regards to total yards, the Cowboys had 381 compared to the Raiders 236. The Cowboys averaged 5.9 yards per play compared to the Raiders averaging 4.1. Passing wasn't too much of a discrepancy there, but man, just take a look at the rushing numbers difference for you guys. 27 compared to 114. Also, they both had 6 penalties during the game, but the Cowboys had more yards lost to penalties than the Raiders. They both each had a turnover. One was a fumble courtesy of the Cowboys, and one was an interception courtesy of the Raiders. But the Cowboys had 7 more minutes of time of possession than the Raiders.
That'll get it done. 7 minutes at top. Definitely get it done. Um, but just you gotta have balance, man. You have to have balance. It's very important. Just really, Chip Kelly is not a good NFL coach. So I don't know why they keep trying to put him in positions to be able to coach. And I know why he's out there. Chip is an alternative lifestyle type coach. So he and we've heard the stuff that he's done with players before in the past, and it just never seems to add up, man. Nothing that he does makes any sense. But Pete Carroll's a good coach, and he needs to get that stuff figured out. Geno was playing very well in Seattle. He's not playing bad now, but they just don't have enough top to bottom to be able to get this where they need to get it to.
Definitely a issue for the Raiders. But James, I want to give you some pushback though on Geno. He hasn't been performing the best. Do you know his touchdown to interception ratio?
No, what is his touchdown to interception ratio?
Well, he's thrown 12 touchdowns and 13 interceptions on the year. So yeah, it's definitely
Maybe it is his fault.
definitely not what you want to have. Definitely
the only game I saw Geno, I ain't gonna lie to you, was the Jags game. So
definitely take
a little bit. I've watched him with other stuff, but Geno is yeah. I've been critical on Geno, but I thought he was better.
Definitely take the over on the interceptions for Geno if you guys are betting. That is a pretty safe bet to have. But let's talk about a newly acquired Dallas Cowboys member, and that is Quinnen Williams, the nose tackle from the Jets, who was traded to the Dallas Cowboys shortly after Michael Parsons ended up going to the Green Bay Packers. But in his Cowboys debut, Quinnen Williams forced 5 pressures in the first half, tied for the most in any half by a Cowboys defensive tackle since at least 2018. Williams and Osa Idigazua combined for 11 pressures on the night. So you can see the pass rush chart courtesy of Next Gen Stats. He had 28 pass rushes, 5 pressures. He had a pressure rate of 17.9%. He had 1.5 seconds, and his get off was 1.08 seconds as well. So, Quinnen Williams on that defensive line for the Cowboys is definitely a scary sight, along with the other players on that line. With the pressure and eyes Quinnen Williams bring, it can hopefully open up other opportunities for the line and for different rushers of the quarterback as well. So thank you, Next Gen Stats, for continuing to have these great infographics for football fans out there. So, James, we mentioned how the Raiders had a lack of carries in this game. So the Raiders ended the first half with 31 dropbacks to only call 3 runs. So that 8.8% called run rate is the lowest of a game since week 14 in 2021, aka thank you, Chip Kelly, if you're the Cowboys. So, man, just shows you right there another part of the offensive struggles for that Raiders squad. I just want to reiterate the Raiders are 2-8, and they are 1-4 at home this year. So looking to rebuild again once more for Las Vegas's squad. So we're going to keep on keeping on with some continuation, James. We got some news coming from Jamar Chase and the penalty and punishment he faced for spitting on former NIL Jalen Ramsey. So let's talk about what Jamar has endured for him. So the NFL suspended Jamar Chase for spitting at Steelers defensive back Jalen Ramsey. So Chase denied spitting at Ramsey, but the league determined the video evidence was sufficient to warrant a suspension. We replayed the video for you guys on Monday. It is evident that he did open his mouth and spit on Jalen Ramsey. So Jamar Chase's 1-game suspension will cost him his weekly paycheck of $448,333, along with a $58,823 per game active bonus he will now be forfeiting. So if you guys are doing the math, that means Jamar Chase has forfeited $507,156 with this one game suspension. So half a mil for bodily fluid, James. A spit will cost you a half a mil, half a million, man. Let's just let you know how serious your actions are, and especially in the NFL. But man, what would you do if you losing $500,000 for one game? I know I would be irate.
I'd be all right. I wouldn't spit on somebody knowing that I'm going to get suspended. I think he actually, to be honest with you, he should be suspended for more than that. Did we find out if Jalen is going to have to pay his fine?
I'm looking it up right now.
Because I think you can't kick me out of a game and know that now you know why I got kicked out of that game. Like, I need to be compensated, and I also need to see him be punished, because if it's just one game, that's it. Like, no, hit him with a 3 game.
It looks like Jalen Ramsey has not been fined for the incident involving Jamar Chase. I think he just got the ejection and nothing else. So it doesn't look like he has to pay any money. But like you mentioned, James, you would not spit on somebody if you knew you would get suspended. And man, he is. Yep, so Londa B exactly put it. Expensive saliva. Just a shame, man. 500,000 down the drain for Jamar Chase. A lot of people in the sports world have been losing respect for Jamar Chase with the recent spitting situation. Even Tyrann Mathieu, former LSU Tiger, had some stern words to say about Jamar Chase as well. But it was at a place of love anyway. So, man, $500,000 down the drain for
That's a
Jamar
third-degree
Chase.
felony in the state of Florida. Spitting on someone.
Let's just be happy Jalen Ramsey didn't do any more damage to him than what he did on the field, because a lot of people were saying that, man, Jalen Ramsey was holding back a little bit, but I'm happy he got the suspension and fine, even though some people say it should be heightened a little bit. But just wanted to give you guys an update on a continuation episode with Jalen Ramsey and the Jamar Chase spitting scandal. So let's move from one Ohio team to another, James. We're going from Cincinnati to Cleveland. And we have some news according to Mary Kay Cabot. So, according to Mary Kay, the Browns are expected to start Shedeur Sanders in Sunday's game in Las Vegas with Dylan Gabriel in the concussion protocol. Bearing something unexpected, Sanders will make his starting debut, becoming the 42nd Browns starter since 1999. So with this news, it is pretty ironic because the Las Vegas Raiders were one of the teams that was in draft conversations for Shedeur before the Geno Smith acquisition and after the Geno Smith acquisition as well. So this can be a show out game for Shedeur Sanders. He's going to be getting the reps in practice this week with the ones. So you can have that complaint off the list as well. So we can see how he really performs with the first leg of starters. So we also have some other news, James, that's actually quite sad to report on.
Are we going to talk more about how everybody's making this more than this whole Shedeur thing more than what it is again?
We can, but before we do that, I wanted to show the other side of the coin with Shedeur. It looks like he's suffering from success because approximately $200,000 in property was stolen from the home of Shedeur Sanders during a break-in Sunday, according to the police.
Get robbed so much? Remember Deion got robbed at Jackson State, and do y'all not have cameras? Like, are y'all walking lit?
But
I don't understand.
But
yeah, that's terrible. That stinks for him. But that's what insurance is for. But why do they keep robbing y'all, man? What did y'all do?
They actually caught the assailants on camera. One of them had a pair of New Balances on, but they were full hoodied up, masked up, so you couldn't really see their faces or anything like that. But they actually did release the camera footage of them holding a briefcase, walking through rooms, et cetera, but you couldn't make out their faces or anything like that. But going back to what you originally asked, yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts on the whole Shadur situation, not getting the first string reps with the Cleveland Browns squad.
One, I want nothing but success for him. I hope he proves everybody wrong, right? Not wrong, but like fuck proving everybody wrong. I hope he proves himself right. That's really what we should be in here, right? People are saying, while I'm talking about this, I can't. I wish, did I share? I shared it. I did share it on my page, on my Facebook page. Now, in defense, it's a little bit different because this guy that I'm going to compare him to was an NFL veteran at the time. But I hope I found it. I also wish we would have shared what Mike Tomlin had to say about Spitgate. But everybody's saying that about Shadur's play, and it wasn't great, but it wasn't a chance. But then people are like, see, this is why. Well, what do you expect? He didn't take any 1 reps. And I didn't know why this was like really a debate on social media about him not taking number 1 reps. And it baffled me because I'm starting to realize a lot of people listen to sports shows, but a lot of people don't know shit about sports. Football is broken down into a matter of periods. And periods of 5-minute segments, traditionally across the board. You get 24, and that's a long practice, but a lot of these practices are 90 minutes. So do you know what happens in 90 minutes? You have to really get a lot of condensed work, and only the people that you know are going to play are going to get the reps. So second string and third string guys aren't getting a lot of reps, guys. I promise you. From college all the way to high school. If our third string quarterback at Mandarin has to play, our entire game plan is going to change. And he's going to look bad. And that's not our fault as coaches because we didn't expect to play the third string guy. That's why he's the third string guy. You spend and you invest the energy in who you believe your starters are. O-line, D-line, every position. The threes ain't getting reps. They get mental reps. Leadership reps, as the one coach called it with Tennessee. Video, film. You got to watch the person in front of you. You got to watch the person in front of you. Hold on, I'm trying to look. And it's not, there's a whole movie on it. Any given Sunday. We got the third string quarterback not gonna do shit. And if anything, yeah, Londa, like if anything, they're repping what the other team does. But man, I'm trying to it's not his first game. He's not the first person though to get thrown into that position. That being said, when he was put into it, he did not have the stuff, but now he'll get the number 1 reps. And people keep saying they're putting him in position to fail. Have you ever noticed that all these people that wanted to draft him and all these quarterback changes across the league, all these injuries, had nobody in there in the little capital that would be invested into getting Shadur Sanders? Have you ever noticed that none of these teams have gone and gotten him? That don't tell you something? I hope these reps I hope these reps help him and they go out and they win the first game. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, is there an example of this shit happening in Cleveland? Is there an example of a quarterback that was talented that a lot of people said coming off the bench in Cleveland and winning a game? Baker Mayfield, Browns 21, Jets 17. Baker Mayfield comes off a bench, leaves remarkable comeback, ends winless streak in 19 games. That's crazy. Mayfield came off the bench late in the first half when the starting quarterback, ironically, Tyrod Taylor, ironically, got knocked out of the game because of concussion. They were down 14-0. Baker Mayfield, that's wild. That's wild. September 20th, 2018, for those who want to do their research. It's not saying that Shedeur is bad. It's just saying stop making excuses for him that you would not make for anybody else. That's all I'm saying. Like there are bigger things in the world to care about than Shedeur. I promise you, dog. I promise you. He's not getting treated any worse. And y'all didn't even fucking care about me.
It's funny you mentioned Baker Mayfield, the number 1 draft pick. And we're actually going to talk about another number 1 draft pick who's been balling. So that is quarterback Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers. So we actually have this post courtesy of the NFL on CBS. So this is the list of QBs this season with 400 plus pass yards, 3 pass touchdowns, and 0 interceptions in the game. And that list is only comprised of Bryce Young. So he is the only quarterback this season with 400 plus pass yards, 3 plus pass touchdowns, and 0 interceptions in a game. But the stats and the love does not stop there. So Bryce Young has the most game-winning drives in the NFL since 2010, with that number being 10. So he is ahead of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, who are tied with in second place with 9. And also, he's tied with Jalen Hurts. He's above Jalen Hurts and Geno Smith, who also are tied in that with 9 game-winning drives in the NFL since 2023. So Bryce Young is doing his thing when the clock runs down and it's time to kick in that clutch gene. So just want to give a shout out to Bryce Young for his game-winning drive statistic and his quarterback play as well. So shout out to Bryce Young. So we're on a quarterback train right now. And James, Matt Stafford finally got over the hump. So for the first time ever, Matthew Stafford's all-time career record is over 500. He is 116, 115, and 1 in his career. Man, them Detroit days definitely tarnished that record, but Matt Stafford has finally gotten over the 500 hump in his all-time career record. I know that must be a great feeling for the legendary quarterback. So shout out to Matthew Stafford as well. And continuing on this quarterback train, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers for any of my Steelers fans in the chat. So Steelers QB underwent further tests on Monday that confirmed he won't need surgery on his fractured left wrist. He injured that during the Cincinnati game. Rodgers is pushing to play Sunday at Chicago, but doctors must clear him, and his status moving forward is TBD, meaning to be determined. So we will see the Aaron Rodgers status in the upcoming days in terms of his presence in the Chicago game on Sunday. James, we off the quarterbacks, and now we're going to talk about another wide receiver, somebody people may have forgotten about, and that is Odell Beckham Jr. So Odell Beckham Jr.'s 6-game suspension has officially ended and is now free to play for any NFL team moving forward. OBJ has been working out nonstop and staying ready for a call. So, if you guys don't remember, OBJ accepted the 6-game suspension for violating the NFL's policy on performance enhancing drugs. He claimed that he did not know the supplements or things he was taking included these PEDs. So the wide receiver, who is now a free agent, said he failed a PED test last season while he was a member of the Miami Dolphins. So just want to give you guys an update on Odell Beckham
Good for
Jr.
him. Like it's probably over. I thought he retired. So like he's a guy that got a lot of name recognition for making some incredible catches, but his game never kind of elevated and went to the next level. So
Yeah, it was painful to watch him get hurt in the Super Bowl against the Bengals because he was definitely putting on a show for that Ram squad against the Bengals. Sucked to watch him go down, but luckily he got a championship nonetheless out that game. So good luck to OBJ on this in this process. Excuse me. For any of my fantasy fans out there, we got your perfect and imperfect lineups for week 11. I know there's some fantasy players in the chat, so I just wanted to see if you guys had these players on your list, on your team to get the points for your squad. And if you had the imperfect lineup, if you had some players on that list, not looking too good for you. So let's start off with the perfect list. Josh Allen had 42.68 points with his three his 3 rushing touchdowns and his 3 passing touchdowns. No surprise. Christian McCaffrey, 35.1 points. Man, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Sean Tucker, 34 points. He got Mr. Wilson right there for the Cardinals, 33.5 points. Teterow McMillan, the rookie out of Carolina, aka T-Mac, 33 points. Trey McBride, 27.5. Travion Henderson, 32.3 points. Will Lutz, kicker for the Broncos. And lastly, the Steelers defense completes that perfect lineup for you. So what is the imperfect lineup, you might ask? Here it is. Man, if you had Justin Herbert, sucks to be you. He played the Jags, and I don't even know if you want to call that a game, but he only got 3.34 points. Nick Chubb, 1.7. Vidal, 3.2. Quentin Johnson, 0 points. Shakir, 0.7 points. Jonnu Smith, 0. Ricky Pearsall, 1 point. Younghoe Koo, 2 points. And lastly, the Chargers defense had -2 points. So these are your perfect and imperfect lineups, courtesy of NFL Fantasy Football for all my fantasy football lovers out there as well. And let's break down another post that really gives you insight onto the defensive schemes of NFL teams. So we have the coverage usage, the defensive coverage usage from weeks 1 through 11 for each NFL team to see which one of your favorite teams participates in this respective coverage. So you see up top, you have the man and you have the zone breakdowns as well. So with your man coverage, you have cover 0, no deep safety, cover 1, 1 safety, cover 2, 2 deep safeties. Makes sense. And lastly, for your zones, you have cover 2, 2 high safety look, cover 3, where it's 1 deep safe, where it's like playing thirds pretty much, cover 4, playing fourths, cover 6 as well. You get the gist. So for your cover 0, no deep safety, aka all out blitz, the Chiefs are leading this in the NFL. They're leading this race because, man, Steve Spagnuolo, if you know, you know, is a very aggressive blitzer of the football. So it's no surprise that the Kansas City Chiefs have the highest cover 0 usage rate in the NFL. Lastly, in your next in your cover 1 man scheme, you actually have the New York Giants and the Browns taking that top spots. You actually have the Browns with a 35% usage rate for your cover 1 man. And for your cover 2 man, this is a defensive coverage that not too many teams utilize. So you see right here, the highest cover 2 man is actually the Chicago Bears. Now we're going to transition into zone. So for cover 2, you actually have the Miami Dolphins playing the most amount of cover 2 with 28%. Then you have the Atlanta Falcons participating in cover three the most out of any team, with 49% of their defensive plays being cover three. And with your cover four, you actually have the Arizona Cardinals participating in that the most. And lastly, with your cover six, you actually have a tie between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Philadelphia Eagles. So just wanted to get some insight, share this insight with you all about your favorite team and what percent of their defensive plays they use mostly. So for you, the Jaguars specifically, 4% cover zero, 15% cover one, 1% cover two, 10% on cover two zone, 31% on cover three, 15% cover four, and 20% in cover six. Jaguars mainly utilizing the cover three zone shell for you, which is basically splitting up the field into thirds. So just wanted to share that with y'all for all my football geeks out there. And it looks like, oh, James, you want me to share the screen? Because I know you. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna put James back on the Summer Jam screen right now. And it looks like he has a special gift. And I wonder what that gift is. You're muted, by the way. We can't hear you.
It's not a gift. I just want people to see. I found out. So this is how games get streamed, essentially. This is Wi-Fi in a box. Like, you have to buy these big ass containers, dog. So like, I had to like get this so that we can stream these games. Um, Again, I try to tell people, hey man, let's work together so we can all do this to the best of our ability, and nobody listens to me. And I tell them I'm gonna find out, and then I know to negotiate it, and now I got Wi-Fi in the box. So it's like, it's crazy, but we will have the game streamed. It will be another stream component, but it will. But we'll also probably have a basketball game tomorrow. So tune in to Den Media Group and watch Mandarin basketball. As we continue to push this, and I'm gonna find all other kinds of shit to stream because I had to go do the shit that I needed to, that like somebody made every business. So because again, like one of my guys, I do want to shout out to them. They did a great job of business, but always remember there's this thing called collab over competition. Always figure out a way you can collaborate before you create your own competition. And as I told somebody, when you make me have to take money out of my monster's mouth, my little monster's mouths, to go do some shit that I wanted to do with you, I will never be bad at you. But you forced me to go do something that I had to do. And that's my perspective. And you had to do what you had to do. And at the end of the day gonna end. And now we got to figure out these things. And ever since I've been telling them, there's been a lot of cool things that justified this price. And it's cheaper than what I was being charged. And that's what really made me go do the research. Is like, hey man, like, just tell me the truth and let's just do it at cost. And I don't want you to have to pay anything more than you have to pay. But not everybody likes to return that favor. So we live in a capitalistic society, and I love capitalism, and we all get an opportunity to play that. But I just want to say this: I might even give them their own commercial. It's called Pop-Up Wi-Fi. They do event Wi-Fi's. The lady's British. It looks cool and shit. So like, hey, well, yeah. So, anyways, go ahead, Jaden. What we got? Finish it up. I just figured I'd show everybody we got some good ass Wi-Fi coming. So are you muted? I think you might be muted, bro.
Oh, my bad. We have the division standings after week 11, and then we actually have the playoff picture if the season ended today. So let's take a look at the AFC first. The New England Patriots are atop the AFC East with their 9-2 record. AFC South, you have Indiana, the Indianapolis Colts, with their 8-2 record. AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers are still atop, and then you have the Denver Broncos, who are leading the AFC West pack. Finally, you have the NFC division standings after week 11. Eagles, reigning Super Bowl champions, are atop that list. The Bucks are at the top of the NFC South list. The Chicago Bears are actually the leaders of the NFC North, and the Rams are the leaders of the NFC West with their recent win over the Seattle Seahawks. So, what would the playoffs look like after week 11 if the season stopped right now? This is what it would look like. The Broncos are actually the number 1 seed in the AFC. They beat out the New England Patriots, who are the number 2 seed right now, and then the Eagles are the number 1 seed in the NFC. So in your wild card rounds, you would have the Jags going up against the Patriots, Chargers going up against the Colts, Bills going against the Steelers. And for your NFC wildcard rounds, you would have the Niners going up against the Rams, the NFC North matchup between the Packers and the Bears, and you would have the Seahawks versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So just wanted to give you guys an update on the division standings and what the playoff picture would look like after week 11.
We will be doing this show from Boston. I gotta go. And I'll be the content. I would have to tell everybody, there's a guy. Oh boy, they would. Do you know what they would be? People hate Mandarin now. Man, we're gonna be having all kind of Mandarin U content. Got 2 Mandarin U cats. I'm going up there early. We're hanging out. I'm hanging out with Pop and Date. I'm hanging out with Pop and Terrell. Damn, this shit heavy. Sorry, just happy about this toy. Ooh, can I drop it? It's fragile. 5G. Isn't 5G the thing they said that was gonna kill me? Now it's costing a little more than 5G to get the whole thing. But I'm saying 5G is the network. Yeah. No, but all right. So this $10,000, $9,500 for the whole. But it costs you it costs like if you just buy one at a time, one single usage, you can charge a stack, and I can rent it out. That's the thing is like I can rent it out. Like if you wanted to do like a gaming night, like where y'all like all get to like how you say y'all have like the honeycomb hideout. Yeah, with you and your crew,
we got a clubhouse.
Like if y'all wanted to have like a clubhouse, or you didn't have no Wi-Fi, you could literally say, "Hey guys, it's $10," and you wanted 50 people to show up. Hey man, it's $10 a person. I could because
I can bring Wi-Fi.
I could bring Wi-Fi, and it's gonna be super it won't have any lag.
Right.
It's like our Wi-Fi is pretty strong in the house, but like if I had 50 people in here using it, it would go slow as shit. But like.
Cool.
Yep. So, anyways.
Let's take a look at the NFL stat leaders after week 11. So Drake May, he's been dotting it up, man. No surprise that the Patriots are the number 2 seed in the AFC. He leads the quarterbacks in passing yards with 2,836. So Jonathan Taylor is still at the top of the running back rushing yards with 1,139, the only running back this year to break 1,000 yards on the ground. And on the defensive side of the ball, you have Jordan Brooks, who's leading the league in tackles still. He has 125, 18 tackles ahead of Bobby Wagner. Myles Garrett leading the league in sacks with 15. He has 10 sacks in the last 3 games. He's been on the tear. But Brian Burns, the NIL, is second in sacks, like I mentioned at the earlier portion of the show. Nick Bonito coming in a cool 3rd place as well. And then we have another NIL, James, in this sack list. That is Josh Sweat. He's tied for 4th place with Daniil Hunter with 9 sacks. So shout out to 2 NILs on that top 5 sack list. And for your receiving core, you got JSN, a.k.a. Jackson Smith and Jigba, leading the way for wide receivers. He's the only wide receiver to break 1,000 receiving yards this year as of right now. And for your interceptions, Kevin Byard the third is in first place, but Devin Lloyd is still tied in second place with Nashawn Wright and Tremaine Edmonds with 4 interceptions. I don't know what they're putting in the water in Chicago on that defensive side, but man, they got 3 players who is in the top 5 in interceptions on Chicago. So their defense is definitely a strong indicator of their success because man, having 3 guys top 5 in interceptions is great for any defensive squad to have. So just want to give you guys updates on that. And we're finally at the Big Games BS section for today, where we bring the scope of the conversation outside of the typical football world. And we love to start off with our BS or Bussin' Food Review segment. We would play a clip of a food dish and ask James if he's going to give it a BS or a Bussin' Food rating. And shout out to all my Hispanics and Caribbeans out there because this one is for you. We got a little bit of a fusion dish, if you will, because this is a Puerto Rican style lasagna with layers of sweet plantain, ground beef, and melty cheese. So we're going to play this video for you guys and let us know what you think of the Puerto Rican style lasagna, and spam BS or Bussin' in the chat with your food reviews of this video as well.
All right, I like how they cut it in the middle. I don't know about sweet plantain though.
I know that's
throwing me off.
I love.
So they're frying it. Like, why wouldn't you use was it tostones?
Yeah.
Like, it's throwing me off. Like, the flavor would be throwing me off. But wouldn't this be counterproductive? Oh, no, I guess frying it makes them more firm. Like, if you gave me tostones, but then that would be too hard. Yeah, but I don't know how long, but yeah, I'm confused. I'm confusing.
Better, but I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm just not doing that. I don't want. Damn, I just no way to pause. No way to say this other than pause. Right? I don't want sweet meat.
Just put it to the side.
Yeah, like I mean, I like bar. Like I don't want in that scenario. That's supposed to be a savory dish. Make me lasagna and yeah, give me plantains on the side. I'm cool with that. But like that, I don't know, homie.
It's so funny how every new TikTok food invention is just gonna smush these things
together. Yeah, everything doesn't need to be fused. And sometimes when it works, it's like Linkin Park and Jay-Z. Like, but that took like that worked, and we didn't see anything wrong with that. But then there's but Kid Rock and Eminem wouldn't work. So like, I'm just not, yeah, I don't know. I'm called BS on that one.
And our last topic of the show is our OG Wildin' topic for today. If you're a real fan of the show, we have our OG Wildin', our YN Wildin' segments, and our OG Wildin' topic winner today goes to Patrick Beverly, former NBA player. Let's see how this OG was wildin'. So, according to NBA Central on Twitter, they cited TMZ for this tweet. So, Patrick Beverly is accused of punching his sister in the eye and choking her for up to 30 seconds at a home in Texas, per TMZ. So, Beverly then seemingly scolded his sister before he grabbed her by her neck with both hands and picked her up off the ground by having her feet come up from the floor. His sister claims his grasp on her neck made her feel pain as if she was losing oxygen and unable to breathe, which lasted between 20 and 30 seconds. The sister stated Beverly took her out of the bedroom by the neck and slammed her body against the walls of an open room area of the house. She claims Beverly then laid her on the sofa, stood on top of her, and punched her approximately one time on her left eye with a closed fist. The sister added Beverly made a comment that he will be the family relative to kill her. Now, I know there's more information in the tuck revolving this story, and there's more information and news to be heard about this story. But from what I collected online, Patrick Beverly found a partner, I guess a
A
sexual
grown
partner,
ass man in bed with his sister, man.
yeah, with his sister, and it looks like he was punching up on the sister, and there's been no news on if there's any damage to the man involved in this situation, but it's just really confusing to me at first. This is the majority of what we know at this point, so we'll definitely be seeing what news uh ensues from this situation. But yeah, scary, man. Scary when the siblings get involved and the sibling is accusing you of doing heinous things to her, and it's just scary situation, man. Scary situation, but yikes. OG. I don't know, man. I just don't know what to say. I'm honestly just kind of lost for words, but yeah.
I'm staying out of it. That's one thing that I've learned. I've been through it myself. Um, it is not fun. Um, especially when you're dealing with a woman. Feelings get thrown around like facts, and you end up having to defend yourself. And the only way to defend yourself is to argue with the woman, and that's pointless in today's society. Um, I I hope he learned a valuable lesson. The streets are the streets, and if she's for the streets, be for the streets. You can love her, but I gotta love you from afar. And it's a painful thing when you learn it, but the one thing you're not gonna like, but you can't put. I don't like I said. I don't know all the scenario, but it does. It sound. It smell when it smell funny and it look funny. I just be like, you know what? I believe. I believe all. I listen to all women, but I believe all facts. Like I said, when I seen women that I actually care about lie for no reason and embellish it, that let me know I know that if you lie on me, I know you'll lie on the strangers. So like I just stay out of it, man. And sometimes I don't even think it's from a place of true maliciousness as much as it is your women get mad and they want to get even. And they don't care, and sometimes they don't think about what the consequences of this. It's like, but you squeeze the toothpaste out of the tube, and then you want to try to get it back in there, and it's already fucked up. Regardless of what happens, that picture will never not exist. And Pat, because he's done silly shit like this before in the past, it's going to stick to him, even if he's 100% innocent. Hold on, so we can finish it. Hey, hello?
What's up, JC?
Hey, can you give me some insight more insight on on the bill that just passed with the coaches?
All right. So it's gonna have more adaptations coming out. They just had to get this submitted because this was the deadline for it to be submitted for this.
So it hasn't passed; it's just been submitted.
It's just been submitted.
Okay.
So they're still they can still rewrite it and all that stuff like that. But basically, it lays the groundwork for like, okay, if a parent says, "Hey, James Coleman is worth $20,000, and I'll give 10." Like now, districts can do that, so people can supplement pay. They're going to, from what I'm hearing, from what I've been told, they are going to have additional funding allocated to districts for like your team sports coaches. I don't know when or how that's going to be introduced into the bill, but that is what I've been told is going to happen for football, basketball, soccer, baseball, softball, volleyball.
So, so a parent. So I'm at Mandarin. So a parent can come and say, "I want this guy to be my coach, and I'm willing to pay to make this guy my coach." Or does it have to be fair across the board, or can it be a situation where? So we're gonna create. So it's a capitalistic thing, not a problem, but we will create an unfair advantage in certain areas. It can.
Yes.
It can be manipulated
So-
to do that.
Correct. And it will be. And that's the thing. But that's, to tell you the truth, that's one of the issues. This goes outside. This is why it's a political issue. The reason why it's a political issue is because now you're talking about people's value systems, right? And so you can't make a one, like, hey, because we don't value it, we want you not to value it, so you make it fair, right? That's really what we're talking about has been going on, right? Well, we don't value football, and we know you value football, and we know that you'll pay for better coaches, but we don't want to pay for better coaches, but we want our kids to have the same level of coaching. So, like you said, the capitalism problem with that is, and the structure is the downside of all of that is it hasn't given way to a free market for anybody. Like everybody's value in the state of Florida is the same right now.
Fair
Right.
enough. Yeah.
So
Roughly around that. Like there's some districts that pay more, some
Well,
that pay
well, I
less.
mean,
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
right. I'm just, like, if you're in the same district. So like if you're 0-10, right, and you're in a district with your 3-time state champions, like you're getting paid the same exact amount as that 0-10 coach. You get what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter who. And so now to that disrespect, not even disrespect, district, but have a different allocation. Say, hey, you want this spoken,
You breaking up now. You went way low. All right. I'm gonna hit you back. I can't. You're breaking up. I can't hear you. But we got a little bit of more insight to it. It just sounds like one of the things that I just I don't. It sounds like it's about to be a little bit. It's about to be made more complicated than what it probably should have been, and definitely, like, it probably should have just said coaches are going to get paid. When it was a minimum wage thing, I 100% agree with that. And then every coach gets paid X amount of dollars. Hold on, we'll try this one more time. Hello. Yeah, it's still breaking up. But we try to do a minimum. Like if it would have been minimum wage and everybody still gets paid the same, and then you have playoff incentive and structures, it would have made more sense. But like, shit, I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. Wherever I'm at, we're gonna load up, lock up, get a lot more, and we're gonna be 100 miles a run. We're gonna be the highest paid coaching staff in Duval County if I get my chance to it. And unfortunately, I know other schools can't. So, on that note, man, we got it. What else we got, Jada?
That was it, but I did a little research, and it looks like from what I saw on the internet, regarding Patrick Beverly, it looks like his sister is allegedly 15, and the guy that was there was allegedly 18 years old. So that's kind of the information that I gathered. So do that what you will. So that's it for on my end for today.
Oh man, appreciate everybody for coming here on Wednesday. Thank y'all for chopping it up with me. We will see you guys on Friday. Pay attention to the channel though. Thursday we should have Mandarin basketball. Friday we will have the streams. Hell, we might even have some regional Pop Warner championships gone because I got this new toy and I got to use it and we got to get the reps because there's more prep streaming that I probably need you guys, so I don't inundate my channel. I need you guys to go and subscribe to Big Games Gridiron. Appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. We'll see you guys next time.